So we continue again. Sorry for the interruption. So the first question I actually already raised is why would you choose for this minor? And I do first like to show you this small movie. I hope it's working. Yes. It's a really short movie and then automatically it goes to the next slide. That could have some improvements. But what you see over here is an automated detection system in a greenhouse for peppers, bell peppers. And this picture here, you see that the people that developed the system labeled as well as the yellow peppers, but also the leaves are scored. And this is a tool you can apply actually in a greenhouse in order to count the number of fruits you have, or to determine the ratio from your leaf coverage according to your fruits. You can also use it for estimations of when my fruit is ripe, ready to pick, in order to have harvest predictions. So you can use this system, in this case it's a deep learning system with some algorithms, in order to benefit, to speed up a process, to gain more insight, to collect more data. And this is now an illustration for plants, but you can also imagine that you use a camera system to monitor the way a horse is walking during a training. Maybe you can detect some minor changes in the way of the behavior of the horse, how it walks, and by that detect an early injury. So just quickly first give you some impressions of what you actually can learn or do during this minor. And then, of course, there are some more reasons to do this minor. We do this minor together with the Fontes, and we believe that you can make a contribution to a sustainable agriculture and also a future-proof agriculture, with some examples I've showed you in the previous slide. And if you're interested in smart technology and how you can use and implement these in an agricultural setting, then this minor could be something for you. There are all kind of real life projects. The house is always working with real life projects, but also within this minor, we have some cases from growers, but also from the industry that likes to test or monitor their tools or equipment, so we can combine that. And then we hope we can learn you something more about the technology, especially for the Haas students, but also for the Fontes students. You're going to work in a multidisciplinary group. Automation still continues. Sorry for that. Because you work with a different group, you also have students from different backgrounds, different disciplines, different knowledge, different ways of working. And by having that, we can benefit from each other, benefit from each other's qualities. And that's something you can apply in a group project. So you get a real case, and then you tackle the problem, make a plan of approach, how you can tackle this case, and then you together with the Fontes students are going to solve that, and often also create something in order to test actually what you thought could be useful, could be interesting, if it's really going to work. Some examples next to the camera system you saw in the first slides, they created an egg robot that actually collects all the eggs that in a chicken barn from the floor in order to prevent more chickens to lay their eggs on the floor. So the harvesting can be done automatically without having the farmer going into the barn each time. Another example is a yield robot in which they try to get an apple picking robot in order to do the apple picking in the backyards instead of doing that by hand. So that are some examples of projects and products students created. Next to that, you're also going to do an individual study. And in that individual study, you can focus more on your own topic, which you like to develop yourself. Maybe you already have a job in mind, which you can focus on and tackle a problem that's going to help you to get the next step or one step further into reaching or achieving that job. And always there is a technical component and a biological component in that individual study. And it's together it has to help or benefit or has something to do with a problem that's nowadays challenging in the sector. So if you then look at the learning goals of this minor, you're going to know the agricultural sector and the point of view based on biology and technology. You're going to know how to measure certain parameters on plants or on animals, but also how to influence environment, growth processes, and how you can automate that. But also, and maybe the most important one, you're going to make the link between an in-depth theoretical knowledge and also the agri-food practice, and you're going to be able to give a proper advice to clients. So actually, you can see that this minor is really focusing on what you're going to do later on in the field. So you can compare to a more complex training training period, or just like a professional assignment. The projects are quite similar in that. More information, the minor will be in Venlo. That's often one day at the Fontes. So that's across the hospital in Venlo. And the other part, one day is often in the Haas. It's presented in the second semester. Often or mostly it is in English because also at the Fontes are quite some international students that will attend this minor. And you can achieve 30 credits for it if you pass. So in order to start first, you need to have 60 credits for your first academic year. So from your propedeutic phase, and 40 credits from your second academic year. It's nice to have knowledge about biology or technology or agribusiness, but we cannot. You're also allowed if you don't have that background. However, in that case, we're going to probably have a small interview or chat before to see if you fit in the study and if your background knowledge is at a sufficient level to start. And then the grading of the project. Going to do a group project, so you're going to create a plan of action and a report. You're going to do an individual study, and for that, you're also going to create a kind of a portfolio in order to monitor your own development. And finally, there will be an oral assessment on which your knowledge will be tested at which level you are after you succeeded this minor, or after this minor, and by that actually determine if you succeeded. So by that, I come to the last slide already about if you have interest in this minor, how to follow it. You can subscribe via Haswise. And if people are external, then you can subscribe via the Kies op Maat. More information can be found also on Kies op Maat. And then you will see that there are two minors, High Tech Agro from the Haas and also from the Fontes. It can be called A-Systems, but both are the same. You can ask your questions later on. You can do that in the chat or by raising your hand and just ask them. Or if you do still want to know something, but you're not going to ask it at that moment, or you want to think about it first, you can always send an email to me. That is mit@has.nl, I should say. So therefore now it's time for the questions. So at least if there are any questions. So I will stop sharing my screen. I think you'll see me more up front. And I'm just going to open the chat to see if there are any questions. I don't see any questions yet. Maybe you don't have questions at this moment, or maybe there will be questions later on. If there are no further questions, then I would really like to thank you for your attention. Also, probably going to look or listen to some other presentations, and I hope you all can make a proper decision on which minor or specialization you're going to follow. So good luck with that, and again, thank you for your attention.
Thank you.